Hey, what's up?
Hey, excited about tonight?
Yeah, it's gonna be a great shoot. Really excited. Got a lot of stuff going on.
Shoot?
Yeah, that's what was on the schedule, right?
No, a DJ's coming in to perform a set and we're gonna have a party.
Oh, no one told me about this.
So that's why you're dressed like that.
This looks fine. I don't know what you're talking about. This is fine. This is fine.
Okay.
What? What's going on here?
Private event in there, man. I can't let you in.
Private, it's an open shoot. This is a volunteer studio.
I'm gonna need to see some ID.
ID? What? Sure, I guess. Even is this? This is ridiculous.
California.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Name every city in California.
Could you name every city in California?
I might.
Give me my ID back.
I'm gonna have to hang on to this, man.
Wait,
I can't let you in.
This is ridiculous. I know people in there. I know them. I know people in this. This is ridiculous. Like, you've got to let me in somehow. Come on.
Sorry, man. I don't make the rules.
All right. I don't know. Is there anything I could like? Do you want money? Like cover? Like, to get into this thing, or?
Buttons. Got any buttons?
No, I don't have buttons.
I could let you in if you solve a riddle for me.
Okay, what's the riddle?
Gotta get my other bouncer out here for this.
There are two of you? Okay, hit me.
One of us only tells truths and one of us only tells lies.
So what, I'm supposed to, like, one of these doors kills me and the other lets me in?
Better try it.
All right, you know what? I'm not even gonna engage. I choose the left door.
Be my guess.
If I die, I'm coming back for you. And luckily for that bouncer, I didn't die. Hi everyone, my name is Amergin.
And my name is Evangeline.
And this is Music to Our Ears, a show where two people passionate about music sit down and talk about music and the ideas that surround it.
As college students, we know that one of the most crucial things to survive such a demanding, fast-paced environment is finding time to get away from it and just relax. One way of relaxing is found through participating in the nightlife, getting together with friends and going out to places like bars, clubs, where everyone can dance, listen to music, meet new people, and feel connected to others outside the pressure of daily life. This episode is focused on the music that fills these spaces, from the classic rock of the dive bar to the pulsing bass of the rave halls. There's no shortage in variety when it comes to what you might hear when you go out on a Friday night.
Dance halls and, what could be considered dance halls, have been considered part of music culture ever since music existed. Music and dance as combined expressions can be seen in cave paintings dating back 3,300 BC, and have filled numerous roles, from religious expression and reverence, to celebrations of social accomplishments, to military cohesion and conquest. And the spaces in which these expressions are performed have become special in their own right. Although up until the invention of modern music storage, these spaces were limited by the fact that any music played had to be played with live musicians. This wouldn't change until both the invention of convenient storage solutions and amplification systems, which could fill a room with music, and so it wouldn't be until the 50s when dance halls would take their modern form, supported by a new crop of musicians utilizing spinning platters topped with vinyl records to keep music going late into the night.
From soft rock, we began to see the transition to disco music well into the 1970s. With the uprise of disco music, we began to see dance halls slowly turn into a more vibrant space that wasn't so PG-13. The iconic Studio 54 started this trend of nightlife. This was a space to see anything and everything, along with anyone from A-list celebrities to starving artists. Because of its carefree ethos and encouragement of club drug use, this was a place of the 70s. Unfortunately, when the club died, so did disco.
Yeah, I think it's interesting kind of starting with kind of the history of the club sound, I guess, it's really hard to, because, normally when we talk about music genres, right, we have
Yeah.
a very defined, like, musical sound we're talking about. But here we're really talking about much more like a sort of a cultural space that mixes music, which itself is a cultural product, an actual physical environment, and then the technology that supports it, right? Because you don't see the modern dance halls, like we said, until the invention really of the vinyl and of amplification systems.
Yeah.
The first real sort of modern club music scenes come out of the Jamaican sound culture, right? We're talking about loading amplifiers and speakers and tables up into trucks and basically driving them around to what's essentially block parties.
Yeah.
And the first real club scenes take advantage of that technology, put it into a confined room, and bring with it, sort of dance hall culture that existed before into this brand new environment.
And from the 70s scene, we then see the 80s. In the 80s, disco is dead, it's gone. But now, with the help of synth and more convenience technologies, we see new wave. And that was big. That was big in the club scene. And then, again, with the 80s, now you see a lot more different varieties of club music. You see, the goth club scene where it's just like Depeche Mode, The Cure, things like that. And then you see, new wave where you see, popped collars, the gelled up hair, all of that. And then you get into the more, I guess, grungy scenes as we start transitioning to the 90s. And a lot more underground raves as well. A lot of underground raves.
Yeah, the electronic side of all this is really supported by the creation of like two primary pieces of technology.
Yeah.
The first being the sampler,
Yeah.
and the second being the synthesizer. Going to the synthesizer, synthesizers exist beforehand, but you don't see, in the 80s you see like the DX7, which is Yamaha's first like mass-produced, commercially available synthesizer.
Yeah.
And by 86, like 40% of all songs on the #1 charts are made with the DX7. Not even made with a synthesizer, with the DX7. And just these incredible pieces of technology. You see like the EMU SP1200 as well, which is a sampler which allows for these larger blocks of sound to be repeated over and over again.
Yeah.
Which, when you're talking about going into a club, you're talking about taking, for a lot of people, the best parts of the music.
And then combining it with another song. Yeah.
Mixing it together to make something entirely brand new.
Yes.
Which in the 90s starts getting pushed a lot more when you start seeing more artists taking those electronic aspects a lot further,
Yeah.
experimenting with samplers, making better ones.
Creating their own sound. Yeah. I mean, and then from the 90s, for all that experimentation, then you see like the early 2000s, you see Aphex Twin come into the equation, and they pride themselves on being taboo and different. And then you see more DJs catching on to this kind of vibe, and then it took a turn where you go to clubs and then you hear rap, or you hear, more provocative sounds like Pitbull and what other, like Get Low, all of those kind of songs. And then DJs start sampling that music and then incorporating it into their sets. And then now we're at the 2010s, where I think house music and a bunch of different types of techno is just taking over, because now we're kind of, we've let go of like the Pitbull phase and everything. You'll go to clubs and you'll hear it, but that's not every club now. Now we have a bunch of different clubs with different specialties, because that's also very popular. Is you go to a bar for a specific music taste. Yeah. And now that's everywhere, and of all different genres, and it's really great.
Yeah, and all of this is being empowered, once again, on the technological side, by like digital audio workstations. Having, a studio compressed into a single computer. And you're able to do so much with that.
Yeah.
And with that, I think, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we want to talk to one of these DJs who is, working in the scene, who is kind of at the front of all of this, experimenting and using this technology to, make his own stuff. So we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll get to that interview.
Ciao.
Well, audio, man, it's in the air. It's the fluctuations that vibrate our ear holes and make the cochlea sensitive, you can't ignore it, and you try to start measuring it, and it just pulls you in. Well, I used to try to play music on my own, make the sounds from my own hands and instruments. Then I started recording. Upon hearing myself in my recordings, I decided I should just record. When you're a young adult who is serious about pursuing media as a career or even a side hustle, a lot of people won't take you seriously. OMN is cool because not only will they take you seriously, they'll push you and they'll give you all the tools to really try to do something special with it and let you be creative about it. And so that's what's been special about OMN to me. I'm Sam Lay, and I'm a student engineer at Orange Media Network.
And we're back. So we want to get a firsthand at what it really is like to be DJ and, control the scene of the club that you're in. And to do that, we've got an amazing interview with DJ French Kush, and this is it.
I'm French Kush, DJ French Kush. I use they, them. And I mainly DJ like EDM music. It's kind of what my overall gist is about. So yeah, but you can call me Oscar. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on. This is awesome. This is really cool. Also, Oregon State grad. I don't want to reveal the year. It's already passed so far. But Scobies.
How did you start this journey? What led you to becoming a DJ?
I gotta say, it goes way back to when I was a kid, maybe 5, 6 years old. My dad always wanted me to be involved in music, so I took guitar lessons, and then I was I know I did a lot of recitals, so it was very formal music training. And then as I got older, I was in band, and so the music scene never really left. I stayed involved in different ways, and then I was actually at the School of Rock in Portland, if you've ever heard of them. Now associated with the movie, which is incredible. Love Jack Black, but I did a lot of shows there, so that got me a lot of stage presence and understanding how it all works, and a lot of the scenes and stuff like that, especially on these venues. And then eventually I got into jazz music. I was a jazz instructor at the Portland Youth Jazz Orchestra, so I went from student to teacher. And then eventually in college, basically I didn't have decks, but I used to use 2 YouTube videos and I would lower the volume on one, and it was, loud enough. No one heard the transition. So I was like, God, that was close, and it was very analog. And then finally, my current partner was like, dude, just get some decks, get a basic deck. And then that was already 4 years ago. So the rest is history.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
So what other DJs and artists influenced you, or did you just kind of, fall to the wall, do whatever you wanted?
No, great question. I was heavily inspired by a lot of the trance DJ scenes. So Above and Beyond was really the core. And from there I loved Ben Nicky. So a lot of these I guess they used to be some of them. Well, they play all this stuff nowadays, but that was really the first introduction to EDM. And that's really what was dude, this is so cool. Fast paced 138 BPM music, and started to go see their shows. And that's what made me well, if they can do it, I want to try it too,
What is your what's your favorite scene to play? House shows, actual venues, what kind of...
Oh, that's such an awesome question. My favorite ones are definitely house parties. I think that's got some of the best vibes. You have, especially if it's all your friends, it's a good community. It's got great energy. Those tend to be my favorites. I've yet to do festivals, or even what I guess club scene official and whatnot. But I definitely feel the festival slash house. I guess there's house parties for actual houses, not house music. But that's been my favorite scene. I've definitely done fundraiser events to weddings and all that, and those are great. No, not harping on that in any way. It's just I think that when you got all your best buds, and maybe you got one strobe light going in the back or something, and it's a lot of fun.
What is the best experience you've ever had as a DJ?
The best one I would say was actually New Year's. This year we had basically this incredible friend of ours wanted to host, and then I got my friend up from Seattle who also DJs up there. Shout out to Henry. You can see him at Barboza. He's great, and we just both wanted to do like a house centric show for New Year's, and we like inflated 200 balloons on a ceiling, and we had like a whole like balloon drop right at the midnight, and it was super cool. I got to try a lot of new sets I hadn't done before, so I've been really getting into disco lately, especially new disco, like Purple Disco Machine and a few others like that. And it's been like really fun to like throw back to that era and with like a house twist and just the energy was perfect that night. Like everyone just like brought the best vibes and it was really fun. It was really perfect. And I had Henry kick us off in the new year. So he was back to back with me and we just kicked it into drum and bass. So it was kind of epic. We were happy. At least we thought it was nice. maybe someone didn't like it. Who knows?
So, like on the more like technical side, what would you say was like the biggest learning curve you had to experience, like with starting this journey and everything?
For EDM was like, or equipment wise, was that what you were asking?
Yeah.
For equipment, yeah, was like I think getting your first deck is like crucial. And I think like myself and a lot, we see like these massive setups at like these gigs, and it's like, you got 4 CDJs, a massive mixer in the middle, and it's like, it's really scary at first because you're like, I don't even know how these work. But I think if you start with really the starter kits, like the DDJ 200 for Pioneer, and then I know the others have the same like versions of those where it's like you basically just have 2 dials, a crossfader, and it breaks it down really nicely to like teach you what everything does to then get into a level of like, oh, okay, now that I see it, you're like, you know exactly what's happening. And obviously like every deck will look a little different, feel a little different, but I think that like starter set, even if you get like a mid to pro level, it's really awesome to have. I would give it to like get those decks. I was so slow to get them because I kept being like, oh, I don't know if I can drop $100, but like in the big picture of it, it's like $100 isn't much for like how much fun you're gonna have on it.
So what kind of prep goes into a show? Like, do you prep everything and you just like hit a button, or like how do you prep for your shows?
That's a yeah, and I think it would depend on the client and what show I'm doing. Like I think a good one was like a good example is like with I was with like the Kaiser Hospital group. The Black physicians wanted to have like an Afro house, Afro Latin beat, and so that really tailors like what I'll bring into the sets. And that typically will be if they're like, we just need you for 4 hours, I'll bring about 6 hours worth of music, and then I'll try to really tailor it down to like specific to the genre. Another show I did was like specific to like 80s music, but then I thought they wanted like funk, but they wanted like Pat Benatar rock and roll, and I was like, hell yeah, like women of rock and roll. I was like down, so like that was really fun too, and at a vineyard. So like yeah, I do some of that where it's like I'll tailor it to the set, but if it's like more for like the shows that I will play at, that'll definitely be like I'll come armed with like usually what I like to play with house music, like and then I'll take about a week or two ahead of time to like get it down to like new music I found to or maybe even some classics I like to overplay.
Do you have any like events like you want to promote while we're here?
Well, right now, it's actually I don't have anything coming up yet. I would like to give a shout outs though, like uh pop up cart PDX. I think I'm totally butchering their name. They're super awesome. They go around Portland with like a mobile DJ setup, and they just like play like you can find them at different locations, the waterfront to like next to OMSI, like and it's just like they have like lights and it's really awesome. So they're super cool. I'm trying to see if I can meet up with them. I haven't yet, but I just was like they always inspire me to like go out and do these like ride. People are just going bike rides and they just have like the whole
I've been
connected surfers. It's awesome. It's happening in Portland. That's what it's so cool. I see it in the UK a lot. There's this really cool guy who does it. So they're really nice. And yeah, I mean, my Instagram's a little bit dead, but if I do have stuff coming up, I'll post it there.
Okay,
So
all right.
awesome, yeah.
All right, yeah. Well, I got nothing else.
Yeah, I got nothing else either.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for meeting with us and
Thank you for
being
your
on the
time.
show.
Appreciate
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you both. Seriously, this is so awesome. Keep up the hard work and following your passions. So it's awesome.
All right, we go live in 5, 4.
Ready, camera 2. And wipe it.
Welcome to KBVR TV. Come join our team.
And welcome back. So, we've talked a bit about the history of kind of the background of all of this.
We did.
We've talked to a DJ. And the last thing I think we have to do is go out and, you know what, experience the nightlife for ourselves, see what the Corvallis club scene is really like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we did. And the weather didn't agree with us, but we still got some good stuff out of it.
You'll
so
see.
With that, let's roll that. Well, it's Thursdays, or as the kids say, Thirsty Thursdays, out here on Monroe Avenue here in Corvallis. And, you know, we're out here looking for the party. Is it here?
I don't think so, Amergin. It's cold, rainy, and wet, so...
Yeah, it's pretty miserable out here, but you know what? That just means it's even better inside. So you know what? We're going to be out here. We're going to be on the hunt, looking for the best party out here and see what people are listening to.
Corvegas isn't feeling like Vegas right now, but we're dedicated. We can do this.
We got it. 100%. We're outside Bombs Away Cafe, and we are here with...
Rainbow.
Rainbow. Great set. Loved everything we were hearing in there. Very great. How do you feel?
I'm so nervous tonight because I did a new section of my rock opera that I've never done in front of people before with my band, and so it was like really nerve-wracking, so I'm still feeling nervous from that.
Really? A rock opera? Mm-hmm. How long have you been working on this?
It's been almost 5 years I've been working on the rock opera. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing. So like what's the concept here? What's the theme?
Well, it's called Becoming Rainbow, A True Story, and it's a true story. It's taken out of my diary from the time leading up to the point where I went through the rainbow, and it also explains how I got my name.
Now, what does it mean? You're saying, you know, what does it mean to go through the rainbow? What do you mean by that?
Well, that's what my rock opera's about. It takes like 2 hours to explain it, but I actually had an experience where I went through the middle of the rainbow. And in my rock opera, I talk about rainbow geometry, how to find your rainbow, how to scientifically prove if I went through the rainbow or not.
Hey guys, so I'm here with Johanna Beekman. She is not only a performer, but someone who's been in the scene of Corvallis for a very long time. Can you give me like a little hint of?
Yeah, so in the 1980s, my dad started a festival here at the fairgrounds. It was called the Beatles Fest, so it was all local bands that covered Beatles music. His name's George Beekman, and then he drums, and I'm a singer-songwriter, so we released some music, and then I released more music, and then I kind of grew beyond Corvallis, and I started producing music in California. I got a producer, and I've been touring nationally in the yoga and kirtan, in the yoga and sacred music world. So I'm at a lot of yoga festivals and non-denominational churches and that kind of thing. So,
okay, cool.
But Corvallis has been, there was back in the 1990s, Reverend Isaiah Jones moved here and started this interfaith gospel choir.
Ooh.
And he came from the deep south and he came actually from the Midwest, East St. Louis, and then he went to LA and he toured with this band that was really famous. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. You know that song? Yeah, so the Fifth Element was his band, so they were super famous. And then he retired from that, and Spirit said he was moving to Corvallis to teach the white people to have faith and sing and clap at the same time, you know, so it was really amazing having that here in that time period also because of the systemic racism in history in Oregon and all of that, to see that coming through in Corvallis specifically is really amazing in that time. There were a lot of clauses where people couldn't buy houses anyway. I majored in something completely different than music, and I'm going into that now.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, but Corvallis has a great scene. It's just kind of small and hip, and the young people kind of keep bringing it to life generation after generation, and then if we want to make something bigger, we kind of go and flow, and I came back. So hey, I love it here.
If you had anything to say to, aspiring musicians, people who are trying to make rock operas of their own or make musical projects of their own, what would you say to them?
I would say it's really great to just give it a shot. That's why I'm here at the Bombs Away Cafe, is because they have amateur open mic night. So you can take your ideas and just try them out on people, and it is really motivating to have an audience to prepare for. It's really helped me move my writing process along.
All right, well, thank you very much. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Sweet. Thank you. All right.
So the plan for tonight was to go to bars and clubs around Corvallis area and interview people. While we were trying to get into one place, it started snowing, and now we're here. It is 38 degrees? It is 38 degrees. How long is it going to snow for? I don't know either. Why am I doing this? To show you how cold it is. Whoops. So it's really snowing. It's really snowing. All right. Thank you, Corvallis. Mwah.
It was crazy. We spent all this time out in the freezing cold.
Yep.
And then literally, as we're packing stuff up, as we're driving back to the studio, everyone is suddenly outside.
Everybody disperses into the open, and we're left in the warm car trying to warm up, and people outside are wearing shorts, tank tops, skinny jeans, a guy riding on his bike in shorts and a short sleeve, no jacket, just cruising. So we didn't get the memo.
Yeah, we missed it.
Yeah.
But, it's interesting because the two places we went to, Corvallis is unique because, it's a college town.
Yes.
And a third of the population is college students, something like that. So all the stuff on Monroe Avenue, that's all primarily student occupied, right? But then you go downtown and you get more of the towny scene, I guess, towny bars. And I think it's very interesting because it creates two very distinct scenes that intermingle all the time, which I think creates very interesting. I don't know. I think it's a very interesting setting to be in.
Yeah, and we were talking about how majority of Corvallis is college students, so college age, so 20s, early 20s, and then the rest of it is people usually in their 50s.
Yeah.
And what I really enjoy about the Corvallis club bar scene, whatever you want to call it, nightlife, it's these two generations that are very different, intermingling, and it's such good energy.
No,
I've never
is.
been in a space where obviously you have the different generations in Corvallis, and there's ever been any kind of weird, funky feeling. If anything, everybody's just enjoying their night, and that's really nice to see because it's. In the media, we always see how the generations are always constantly butting heads because of, generational differences.
Yeah.
But in Corvallis, you don't see that at all. And everybody's here for the music. Everybody's just here to enjoy each other's talents. And every bar, club in Corvallis offers a different thing. For example, we were at Bombs Away, and it was amateur night.
Yeah.
And we went from opera rock to rap. And it was completely different, and people were still enjoying it, and it's just a really great space.
Yeah, no, it creates a very unique and interesting sort of dynamic that I think makes it very enjoyable to be around. But I think with that, of course, we could keep going on forever, but we are limited to 30 minutes here. So with that, we'd like to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.